Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to give it just a moment for everyone to come in. But while you are joining us, if you would please just let us know where you're joining from and maybe how cold it is there or not cold.
Yes. Welcome. It's nice to have you all here.
Warm in northern Utah. That's good. I think we might have a trend that it's a little warmer than normal today.
Everybody's warm, it looks like. The storms hopefully are not. They have passed the United States. Oh, -3 degrees centigrade.
Wow.
Yeah. Cannot believe that.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get us kicked off. And Janet, I know it looks like we're looking for one more panelist, but I think she will join us momentarily. Hi, everyone. My name is Troy Jenkins. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here at ACHS. I am just going to be behind the scenes today, driving the slides and looking at all the technical stuff. So if you're having any trouble with anything, please message me in the chat and I'll do what I can to help out. We're very excited for this webinar today. As always, we'll hear from our own Dr. Janet Ludwig, ACHS Dean of Integrative Health and Nutrition, and a couple of guest speakers that I will give Janet the honor of introducing here in a moment. But just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started for the Zoom today. We are recording this presentation to send out to everyone afterward. So your line has been muted just so we have the ultimate recording quality and sound quality for everyone later on. So, but we do want to hear from you. So throughout the presentation today, if you have questions, there will be several times for Q&A throughout the presentation, but go ahead and put your questions in as you come up with them, and we will do our best to get those to the right people and get some answers for you there. But without any further ado, let me pass it along to Dr. Ludwig.
Thank you, Troy. It is so wonderful to be here, and I want to welcome you to our webinar today. As Troy had indicated, I am the Dean of Integrative Health and Nutrition, and I'll be going over the programs of Integrative Health and Nutrition. We also have, we will have Laura Waldo, who is the National Association of Nutrition Professionals. She is a legislative affairs specialist. She will be there to answer questions relative to the nutrition professionals organizations that deals with legalities of practicing in various states, and she'll help you with that. And I'm pleased to have Lindsay Little here. She is a graduate of the Master of Nutrition in, Master of Science in Holistic Nutrition. And she has actually gone from the graduation to a successful business, and she will be talking to us today also. So please put your questions into the chat. Feel free, as indicated by Troy, he will be picking those up and we will be answering those as we go along. Also, each section, first slide, please, Troy. Actually, second slide. Sorry, Troy. Next slide, please. I'm going to go back to that. I always do this, going back and forth. Today, we will cover the overview of integrative health and nutrition. I will be dealing with that section. And then we will be going into the 2024 trends and professional pathways for the integrative health and nutrition sector. There has been a boom in the industry for integrative health. So it's ripe for you to be going into this program. Then we'll be hearing from Laura Waldo, who will be talking about using your integrative health and nutrition for individualized approaches as to what you can actually use in the profession. I will be back then to talk about the integrative health and nutrition programs. And then Lindsay Little will be showing how she has put all of this together and is a successful business person. So next slide, please. I'm sorry, Troy, go back to 2 slides, because this is where I want to see what is your passion to help people. We are focusing on passion. Do you want to promote stress support and mental wellness for individuals? Do you want to educate family and friends? You also may be wanting to support optimal weight for individual needs. Healthy joints. How many people have pain and deals with joint issues, skin health, and trying to obtain that? Food insecurity around the world. Of course, it's a problem in the areas of wars, Ukraine, and now other places, but we also have food insecurity in the United States. We will, the programs deal with that. Toxin exposure. All of that is in all of our programs too. In particular, endocrine disruptors that will be impacting endocrine system and changing behavior. And then, of course, the passion of those who want to deal with food security, especially in schools and for our children, toxins, or even animal welfare, are animal products that are derived from cattle, pigs, poultry. We study all of that to try to influence how regulations are present. All of that is in our integrative health and nutrition programs. So, Troy, 2 slides ahead, please. I will first start with overview of integrative health and nutrition for wellness. And please, at the end of about 4 or 5 slides, I will have a slide up for questions. Please try to put those in the chat and we can go through those. Next slide, please. Indeed, integrative health, what is it? In the media, it's seen as very different things. Our program incorporates modern science. It's based on sciences with the holistic health modalities and wellness principles. And here you can see here the bigger circles. We have the conventional medicine, Western medicine. You'll learn that. You will also learn complementary and alternative medicine. And of course, self-care. Nutrition, of course, is within self-care, alternative medicine, and conventional medicine. And you will be this place in integrative health in the blue section. You will provide the bridge between all of these, and you will provide recommendations that encompasses the whole person. You will be able to provide a practical, individualized wellness that supports the strategy for optimal health and whole body health. We are looking at the aspect of putting all of this together. So it's both a reductionist approach to it as well as the holistic. We're putting it together and it is science, evidence-based. Next slide, please. And we've got some questions that have come in, and Arzo has pointed out that yes, you will see the recording of this too. Now, the first aspect, my passion, of course, my field of studies is nutrition and the inflammatory process. I want to send you towards how trace metals will influence the inflammatory process, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So part of that is holistic nutrition. It's the whole life approach. When and where you eat, what your attitude is. If you're eating as you're driving in a car, it may have adverse effects. You may want to know where your food comes from and consideration of the entire food chain. Additionally, we deal with holistic nutrition. We take into consideration cultural philosophy, the food types of the Southern approach, all of this. And in addition, we go through the complementary of Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, which has been around for thousands of years and is now being scientifically studied, but it's been successful. And we also deal with specific diets such as ancestral foods, raw foods, cleansing, vegetarianism, and anti-inflammatory, for example. So we all have different strengths and weaknesses and lifestyles, and we deal with that in our different approaches when working with educating and promoting wellness. Next slide, please. Now, I want to tell you what our courses like are at ACHS, and Lindsay Little will deal with that also and answer some questions because she's been through it. Basically, they provide a comprehensive education. We have nutrition, herbal studies, aromatherapy. You also will be getting the basic sciences, biochemistry, anatomy, and physiology. All of the courses are taught by experienced educators that have degrees, licenses, and certifications. We have naturopathic doctors. We have master's degrees and PhDs, doctors of sciences, doctors of chiropractic, doctors of osteopathy, and registered dietitians. All of this with the holistic nutrition approach and integrative health. And I am so pleased to point out that our courses include experiential practical lab kits, which will provide you with hands-on experience for wellness products. You will be working with herbal supplements, aromatherapy, and nutrition supplies to support balanced meals as well as health-restoring nutrients. Aromatherapy and herbal supplements, you may be making a herbal spray that will relax you. Herbal supplements, in particular, maybe to reduce anxiety and help you with other things. All of that will be part of your practical lab kits that you will talk with your peers, your other students in the programs, and have experience with that. Next slide, please. This is where I want to talk about how the trends of integrative health and nutrition have progressed. This opens up professional pathways, and this has been so important in 2024 with COVID-19 pandemic that has come around, and people are now aware of, hey, I need to be aware of where my food came from, the toxins that I'm exposed to, the mold, and the other avenues that are present in the environment. Next slide, please. Growth of integrative health over the last years. I apologize, I have a plane going overhead, so hopefully you can still hear me. The data has shown that the consumer use of integrative health and wellness, it continues to grow. 40% of the Americans engage in the use of complementary and alternative treatments. I'm sure some of your family and friends or some people that you might know have experienced, of course, massage. I enjoy massage, yoga, meditation, all of the different things that have been around there. And that is part of what we will be talking about. And indeed, Western medicine, it's embracing the beneficial aspects of complementary and alternative medicines. As a result of this, many insurance policies do cover integrative and complementary and alternative modalities. So you as a professional can be reimbursed relative to what's going on. So be aware that the aspect of treating and working with people, and I use that wrong, treating, you as an integrative health specialist will not be able to treat, cure, or diagnose. This is, the program is for educating and promoting health and wellness and reducing risk of disease. Part of this is the pandemic has been a catalyst for healthcare centers to consider alternative forms of healing to support preventative health and community health outcomes. So be aware of all of these types of things that have promoted integrative health and the burst for going to complementary and alternative treatments. Next slide, please. Here's a representation of global complementary and alternative medicine markets. And this is global. You can see in 2021, the United States had $100 billion was used for complementary and alternative medicine. 2027, it is expected to be up to $315 billion. So you are in the perfect time to get into the market of integrative health and nutrition as a professional. Next slide, please. Here is a more analytical approach to complementary and integrative healthcare. You can see here this is the United States. In 2020, we had in the United States $15 billion. It is projected to increase over the United States 23%. And this is only the complementary and alternative medicine. In particular, it's been traditional alternative medicine, botanicals, mind healing, body healing, external energy, and even sensory healing. This does not include nutrition. It does not include even spiritualism, meditation, and the other techniques. So all of this is improving, and you can see the difference of the change in it. Next slide, please. At this point, before I actually get into the integrative health and nutrition of individualized approaches, are there any questions? We have a few in the chat.
We do have a couple here that I think you can help us out with.
Good.
First is, considering occasional tuna consumption, are the adverse effects of trace metals like mercury outweighing the benefits? How can we detect the trace metals in our food? And is there a method to detoxify the body from harmful trace metals through food consumption?
Perfect question. Yes. Of course, mercury is adverse to the body. And indeed, we do teach that you should be consuming foods that are on the fish in particular, that are not bottom feeders. They are the fish that are not predatory. So yes, the accumulation of mercury and heavy metals is discussed in the coursework. And yes, we do have mechanisms for detoxifying. I shouldn't say detoxifying, but helping the normal detoxification process of the body. We have actually herbal preparations that are involved in that. And you also asked the question about trace metals in food. When you talk about trace metals in food, the question is there, as I've already talked about, detoxifying. We do have protocols for that. And we'll get into food preparation for determining metals in food. That is an important aspect. We have a few more questions here.
Can you push to stop poisons in our food?
There is, and that can be done relative to legislature. And actually, Laura Waldo, who will be hopefully joining us, the nutritionist and integrative health specialist with a master's degree, you will learn about how you can get into the aspects of changing legislature, changing regulations in the states. So this is where John Monroe asked this question. Yes, you can learn how to influence the regulations that are put into place to try to prevent toxin exposure, which happens at the food processing level. We also have another question, one other question about doctorate or master's degree. You cannot treat, diagnose, or cure. Instead, it's a degree that will help you to educate. You can go into university levels and teach with this. Some of our graduates at ACHS are instructors, so that is also available for you. Any other questions at this time? Let me go on, and next slide, please, Troy, and let me see if we have, I believe we should go on with Laura Waldo. She has been having storms. She lives in the Appalachian Mountains and is not here. So
I am here.
Oh,
I made it back.
perfect. All right.
I don't
Perfect.
really have video, but I've got audio. I've tethered to a cell device, so I'm thrilled to be back and with all of you. So Janet, go ahead.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and read your background. She is an NTP and she is board certified in holistic nutrition. She has been practicing since 2013, but became frustrated, as many people do, hearing stories of practitioners who could not work in states due to restrictive laws in the states where they resided. In 2017, Laura began her journey of grassroots advocacy and policy change, which led to her position as the Legislative Affairs Specialist with the NANP in 2019. Laura works to protect and expand the rights of holistic nutrition professionals, advocating for policy change at the state and federal levels. And before I turn it back to you, Laura, let me indicate to the audience here that as students, first-year students of several programs at ACHS, you are provided a student membership to the National Association of Nutrition Professionals, which Laura is Legislative Affairs Specialist of, and she will be talking to you about that. So Laura, if you would go ahead, and I believe next slide, start with some of your material.
Absolutely. So thrilled to be here today. And yeah, there are multiple professional pathways with the education that you can receive at ACHS. We don't typically call ourselves registered dietitians if we are not, but you've got health consultants and holistic nutrition consultants. Many people do speaking engagements, holistic nutrition counseling. You can work with doctors and dentists, IAONT dentists who are biological dentists. Health food stores is another great avenue. And of course, teaching group nutrition classes and working one-on-one with clients is another pathway for those who have holistic nutrition education. So, yes. Next slide, I guess. So scope of practice, we hear about that very often. What is the scope of practice? As Janet mentioned earlier, the scope of practice for holistic nutrition professionals in the United States states that we are not able to diagnose, we cannot treat, we cannot prescribe, we do not heal, and we do not cure any disease state. And these laws change from state to state. Each law is a bio-individual like we are, and each state regulates the practice of nutrition. So there are 3 types of scopes that we deal with in our industry. One is called exclusive scope of practice. The other is the title protection states. And there are other states such as Washington State, which is the most open, and we call that a certification state, or also known as a state with no laws. Janet has attached the state law disclosures for all of you, so you may look at that. And if you have any other questions about how those laws read, you may go to the NANP website, which is nanp.org. And if you click on Legislative Affairs, you'll find an absolutely wonderful map which tells you every law that is regulated in those states. So one thing that we do want to make sure of is that we're not using a title that doesn't belong to us. So for instance, you wouldn't call yourself an engineer if you were a music teacher. And the same thing applies for holistic nutrition professionals. We're going to use the title that fits what we do. And Janet can discuss those titles that are available with the PhD program and the master's program and the certifications that they provide. And next slide. Board certified in holistic nutrition is federally trademarked. And when you graduate, you are eligible to apply for and sit for the board certification exam. What this shows, not just others in our field, but legislators across the country, dietitians across the country, certified nutrition specialists across the country, is that we undergo the same rigors as other health professions. We're required to stay current. We have to provide continuing education credits each year. We've passed a national board exam, and we do go through a credentialing process. And some states are recognizing board certified in holistic nutrition as federally trademarked in their state laws. So it's very important to understand the law of the state in which you reside. And next slide. And we also have the certified dietary supplement professional. This is the newest trademark certification developed by the NANP. And this really goes into depth into supplements and herbs and homeopathy, mushrooms, but you're still having to have that understanding of anatomy and physiology. Janet, you teach the course at ACHS, the
Correct.
prep course.
Right.
You
Yes.
cannot go wrong taking that course. The exam is 2 hours and it is open book, but with the education that you would receive taking this prep course, you will be well prepared to sit for this certified dietary supplement exam and pass it and be able to use that as part of your title.
Great. Can I go ahead and explain a little bit about that course because you mentioned it?
I absolutely want you to.
Great. This is a micro-credential course. You do not have to be a student at ACHS yet. So this is kind of a good way to get you started in it. And then maybe we'll get you in as a regular student for the program. It is self-paced. You can do it at your own rate. It has modules, it has exams, it has videos that will prepare you for it. And that will allow you then to go to the NANP to take this exam. And once you pass it, you will then be qualified, such as Whole Foods. They prefer their nutrition experts to have this particular certification. It's not a requirement by any means, but it'll give you a little bit of boost to become an advisor through the Whole Foods food store. And I encourage you to do this, as well as the previous slide that Laura had talked about, and I'll get into this, the National Association, the NANP board certification. There are a few questions on the chat that I'll discuss. And after you graduate, you actually you are then qualified to sit for this exam. You go to NANP and fill out an application, and you can actually sit for the exam to become board certified in that. So there are a few of our programs that allow you to do that. It is not the certificate program. One question is on the board relative to the certificate. In the chat are the actual degrees that that are recommended, that are required for taking the NANP board certification. So I'll talk about that later on. So Laura, I think we have one more slide for you.
Great. Next slide. Okay, and it goes right back to the board exam. Yes, when you qualify to sit for the NANP exam, these are the list of titles that you can use.
These are actually the programs at ACHS, our degree programs that
This is
qualifies
excellent.
you. Yeah,
Perfect.
sorry.
That's okay. And then the only requirement is that you are a professional member of the NANP to be eligible to sit for the board exam. So that is absolutely key. We have student memberships, we have associate memberships, and we have professional memberships. So you must be a professional member to sit for the board exam, but all of these will allow you to do that.
Right. And let me say, once you pass your exam for NANP, you do have to get clinical hours. We have had a few graduates come in and assist in our coursework as teaching assistants, and that actually can be counted for some of the educational hours in the for the board certification at NANP. So I wanted you to be aware of that.
Absolutely. There are many, many ways to earn those hours. And I'm sure somebody's going to say, how many hours do I need to earn? You need to earn 500 hours in order to use board certified in holistic nutrition. You may take the exam prior to earning all of your hours, and you would use the title board certified in holistic nutrition candidate.
Right. Good. And let me, while I've got Laura here, I wanted to answer one of the questions that was in the chat regarding scope of practice. The scope of practice applies to the entire ACHS program. In other words, aromatherapy, herbal medicine has the same policy that you cannot cure, diagnose, or treat. However, you can educate, especially the question was relative to an apothecary shop. If you have this these qualifications, then you can educate, reduce the risk, recommend ways to reduce symptoms, but you cannot treat. It is not a medical license for treatment in either of the modalities, nutrition, aromatherapy, or herbal medicine. So I just wanted to clarify that. And we can talk about it later on. Anything else? I'm not sure. I think that is your last slide. Laura, what do you have anything else to add?
Simply that, you know, if there are any questions at the end, I'll hang in here as long as I can.
Good. All right. Troy, next slide, please.
And we do have quite a few questions. I'll try to roll back and pick up where we left off. My apologies if I miss anyone. How long is a NANP membership good for?
Each one is a year. You mean the one that we provide you with? That's the question. ACHS. It's the first year that is covered as a student. However, we encourage you to continue your student membership, and you will get a discount on the rate for the student membership. So it'd be nice. And we have the NANP annual conference coming up. Believe it or not, we have 8 of our ACHS students as well as graduates have been approved for doing poster presentations. They will be presenting their research, whether it be an experiment, whether it be a literature review, whether it be a case study. They are developing a poster presentation. Their abstract will be published in the Integrative Journal of Clinical Medicine. So be aware of that as one of the advantages of being at ACHS and affiliated with the NANP. So I wanted to indicate that. More questions?
Yeah, there's a question about Sarah is not fully understanding how to get the BCH in after they graduate with their DHHP.
Good question. They go onto the NANP site. She can contact me directly. She goes directly to the NANP site. It will indicate to you to fill out the application. You have to send in your transcripts. You have to send all of that in such that you are approved, which you will be because you have the appropriate degree. And then you will sit for the exam, which is held, Laura, it's only 3 times a year, and it is monitored.
No, actually, it is pretty much on demand now. We've got it set up so that if students want to study a little bit more, just fill in the application and you can choose your date. So we're not limiting it to 3 times a year any longer.
Good. Okay, and that's nice to know. Also on NANP website, there are discussion boards. As a member, you can go into the discussion boards where they have groups that study together for the exam once they are ready to take that. So be aware of all the ways to help you pass the exam. So be aware of that. Any other questions that we should handle at this time?
Can you sit for the exam with the certificate in holistic nutrition? I believe that we put up the programs that would prepare you for that. And there's one other that I wanted to speak to a little bit, if I may. A question, I answered a question before about challenge exams. So someone that has a lot of experience, 30 years experience in the field, is there a fast track? We don't have really a fast track, but I mentioned that students can apply for a challenge exam. We do an overview of that just to see if it makes sense to put you in for that. And if you pass that exam, you can exempt that class. There was another question though about from Becky about if you already worked at Whole Foods Market for 10 plus years, did all of their training and then became the store trainer, could I set up a meeting to see if a micro credential could be challenged? So one thing I would say is the micro credentials are separate from the degree courses. So they're not eligible to be challenged. If you feel like you have the knowledge, you just wouldn't, purchase the micro credential because you would have that information. But if there's content within the degree program that you feel you have information on, we can talk with you about a challenge exam.
Good way to handle that. Okay, and to indicate relative to the certificate, which does not qualify you to sit for the exam, I would then encourage you to continue with the certificate program. These are all stackable programs. So you could then go into other programs that does qualify you to sit for the exam. You need a little bit more than the certificate to qualify.
Yeah, good point. And we can help you with that in admissions as well. We have many students that start off with a certificate or a diploma just to kind of find their path. And then once they get real excited, want to continue down that path. So all of our credits can stack into the next credential. If you want to go up to a bachelor's degree, if you have a bachelor's degree, you want to go into the master's. If you have a master's, want to go into the DSC. All of that is, we can map all that out for you as well.
Perfect.
Janet,
yes.
One I want to address, Kristen had asked about the test being in person. No, the test is not in person. You can take it from the comfort of your own home. I will tell you that the test is proctored. So you will log in at a certain time and they'll want to make sure your video is working properly, and then you go to work and take the exam and pass with flying colors.
Yes. Very good. Yeah, it's completely online and it is proctored, as some of our courses are proctored, to make sure that the person taking the exam is the person that is signed up for it. So be aware of that. Good question. All right, shall we go on to the next slide, please? I think that might be mine where I talk to you. Yep, I'm going to talk to you about the integrative health and nutrition programs. And this may be redundant for other people that have known. We have certificate levels, integrative health and fitness training, wellness consulting, and holistic nutrition consulting. Some of these programs, which I believe I have in another slide, will allow you to sit for other credentialing in other programs, such as fitness, and I'll go through that. We do have the diploma in holistic health practice, and then moving on up, we have the associate's degree in health and wellness, and then the integrative in health sciences. And this indicates here specializations available mean that you can specialize in nutrition or in aromatherapy or in herbal medicine. Similarly, you can go on up to the bachelor's program. Again, holistic health sciences with specializations, and then of course, holistic nutrition. And I believe the next slide should be our graduate programs. Yes, at the graduate programs, we have, once you have the bachelor's degree, you can go into Master of Science, Integrative Health Sciences, which is encompassing, again, all of the types of courses to give you a background in it. Health and wellness, you'll be having more associated with advising and working with clients to improve their health, maybe counseling. Holistic nutrition, of course, is the other program. You also can come in at a certificate level and get a specialty for integrative health and wellness, wellness coaching, and holistic nutrition. So you may be a professional already, you have a bachelor's degree, and you actually want to go and get a specialization in these. And then, of course, I am so proud to introduce and talk to you about the Doctor of Science in Integrative Health. This is a Doctor of Science. It is equivalent to a PhD. Again, you cannot, it's not an MD, you cannot cure, treat, or diagnose, but it does give you the highest level at the academics so that you can teach university level, do research, go into corporations and do a lot of work, as well as legislature. Next slide, please. And this is continuing on with what are the benefits of the integrative health and nutrition programs. As I've already talked about, newly enrolled programs get the first year student membership. You already know you sit for the board certification exam. You can also apply and sit for certificate exams for the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, as well as Certified Personal Training, CPT. Those are within the programs and specific courses that will help you with this. You can also apply to sit for the certificate exam in clinical nutrition certification. This is the CCN. Again, you would submit and apply for it, and hopefully if there are any of our programs, they will be approved for you to sit for it. And of course, graduates of the master's program in nutrition in some states, as well as a doctorate, will allow you to be licensed to practice. I know in California, PhD and master's level, you can be licensed for that. And I believe in several other states too. Next slide, please. This is what is already listed in the chat. These are the programs that allow you to sit for the exam: the diploma, the associate's degree, bachelor, and the Master of Science, and the Doctor of Science in Holistic Health. Next slide, please. At this point, questions again? And if not, we'll roll right into Lindsay with what she has.
Yeah,
So,
I'm doing my best to answer a few of these that I know about in the chat, but there was one about explaining a little bit more about clinical practice hours.
okay. That is where, as Laura had indicated, for your clinical hours to become board certified in holistic nutrition through NANP, you need 250 hours for education and 250 hours in clinical practice. And that is where you can actually go on the NANP website and enter a program. It's that allow you to get clinical practice. These are set up through other organizations. You can also work with clients one-on-one and showing that you have developed clinical protocols for them. You would submit those to the specialist at NANP and they would actually be approved for it. So there are several ways to get your clinical hours, and each one is a little bit different. But the NANP website has programs within that you can get, what, 4,100 hours, and you need 250. It's a good question on that. Any other questions on that, Troy, before we hop into Lindsay's talk?
I think I can answer the rest of these for now, so let's move on.
Perfect. At that point, next slide is where we introduce Lindsay, passion to practice. Lindsay.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk with all of you today. So thank you. Should I just jump in or?
Well, let me go ahead and read
Okay.
this because I am so proud of what you've done. She is a Master of Science in Holistic Nutrition. She actually took the leap and she opened her own wellness coaching business. And the full-blown ACHS at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic started this. She discovered holistic health. Lindsay first started thinking about holistic health after something that her painting professor said during her Bachelor of Fine Arts undergraduate degree. So Lindsay, if you could expand upon that, I believe, in your next slide.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. So I guess my story kind of starts from when I was a kid, basically. I didn't know that though until a few years ago. But I was battling some health issues myself. And so like many of us do, we start to DIY our own health. And so I took all the programs, all the courses. This was before I found ACHS, but I was trying to do it all by myself and I wasn't getting the results I needed because that only works so long, right? And so I knew I needed to go further. Knew I needed something. And then I started realizing that I was learning so much about health that I would be talking to friends or family and just share what I've been learning through my own experience. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And so I was finding all this knowledge that we're not taught in school. You know, we're not taught just growing up. It's so much about what our body wants, what our body likes, and then how to advocate for yourself. So I was learning all this stuff and thought, oh, I heard the term health coach thrown around randomly. I thought, that sounds interesting. So I started to do some research on it. And that really, there's so many programs out there. There's 6-month programs, there's year-long programs, there's a bunch of different things out there. So I started researching those. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed to tell the world all that I was learning. I knew I had some place in it, and it was going to be through health coaching. And so when I was researching programs, I came across ACHS. And I was just very impressed by it because I earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, or I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. And that was several years back. And that was in painting, nothing to do with health, nothing to do, you know, with what I wanted to do. And it just felt very far away, the anatomy and the biology, from what I wanted to do. So I wanted to help people feel better. I wanted to help people maximize their health. And I knew there was a gap in there. I felt like the 6-month programs out there, you know, just the certifications weren't really what I was looking for. I wanted to go back and learn and refresh my skills. So when I would be talking to someone about digestive issues or inflammation or something, I had the knowledge to back it up. And that's really what drew me to the master's program at ACHS. I started out just going, wanting a certificate, you know, just a wellness coaching certificate. And through talking with my advisors, I just loved the school and loved everyone that I talked to. And so I decided to go all in. And that was really kind of what jump-started it. And yeah, I guess that's how I decided on ACHS. And I'm very, very happy that I did. And just being able to have the opportunity to sit for the board certification was huge too. I did not go through with that because I got so wrapped up when I graduated with just starting my business that I did not, but I liked that I had that option. And that was a really good thing that a lot of other programs out there don't offer. So that was something that set ACHS apart. Yeah, so I wanted to simplify all the information that was out there as far as what people, you know, we're getting so much information bombarded at us all the time through social media and the news and everything we're reading. I wanted to simplify it. And that's really what grad school and ACHS in particular helped me do. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So as Janet said, I opened my virtual health coaching business, which is called Full Bloom Acres Wellness, in May of 2020, right when I graduated from ACHS. And of course, we all know that was right when the pandemic hit, so everything was shut down. So it became kind of a flip. I was going to do in-person coaching. I had my office all set up. And then with the pandemic, that quickly turned around and I had to learn the virtual side. And it's amazing because it opens up all these doors. I can work with people in other states. I can work with people in other countries, and time zones are no longer a limit for me. So I right now do 100% virtual health coaching. I do in-person events in my town and surrounding areas too, but my coaching business is 100% virtual and I absolutely love it. So my focus now, I help busy women with embarrassing digestive issues resolve them so they never ever think about them again. And I really, after grad school, I went full on into the gut health world, which is amazing right now. All the research that's coming out of that is just phenomenal. And it's such an exciting area to be involved in. And I've just taken that and ran with it. And I really was realizing early on in my coaching career that so many of the women that I talked to, I'm going to say probably 99.9% of them had some form of digestive issues. So I knew there was a need. I just needed to figure out how could I fulfill that need. And so that's when I really decided to focus on the gut health part. In my practice, I utilize tools like meal plans, recipes, mindset coaching, food tracking, lifestyle modifications to help people support their entire body. Again, I'm not diagnosing anyone. I'm not curing. I'm not doing any of that. So I'm staying within my scope of practice. And it's all about education and empowering people to learn how their bodies work. And I can make recommendations and we can talk through lifestyle, because we all know that, you know, those lifestyle things that we do, our society is not entirely set up for us to be healthy. So it takes, in a lot of instances, health coaching to kind of connect those dots for people, which I absolutely love. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as far as just balancing my interests, I'm a firm believer in practicing what I preach. So I live this stuff. I live and breathe nutrition. I mean, I don't, you know, I read all the time. I read all the books and they're all books on nutrition. You know, I'm not reading a lot of other stuff. I'm so fascinated by it. It's so great. So it just gives me different tools and different approaches that I can use with my clients. And sometimes a client is not, something's not resonating with them. So I can take something I learned from, a class I took, and maybe that's not landing for that person, but what, another author wrote about in a book really resonates with that person. And that's where it's really fun to kind of pull these bits and pieces to customize a coaching program for them. And it's really, really great. And just playing with all those tools and doing all the things, I'm my own guinea pig and I just love it. It's fun to try out different things. It's fun to, make my own teas and my own herbal products and taking different courses and playing with food. Oh, excuse me, playing around with different recipes, developing recipes, things like that. So that's kind of the nutrition side. I really do live and breathe this stuff, and it's just great. Aside from that, my husband and I actually rescue farm animals as well, and which is very fun because they were a part of my own wellness journey. And we know that people who spend time around animals have an improved gut microbiome, and it just making that connection for people is really, really fun. And not to mention just stress levels, and my clients really resonate with it. My coaching business actually helps to fund our animal sanctuary. So it's kind of a different business model, which has been really fun to bring to life. And then on top of that, I'm also on the board of directors for our community food shelf, which is really, really great. Janet mentioned food insecurity and just the problem that we have with that. That is all around us. That's living and breathing. It's our neighbors. It's people we don't recognize as being food insecure. So joining the board of directors for my community is a way that I can really directly help people in my community. So my coaching business is virtual, but my work with the food shelf is very, very local. And that is one thing that I think especially having the master's degree added credibility to that. And it made me, as soon as we moved to this area, they sought me out and they really liked that experience and they're excited for what I can bring to them. So very fun to do that as well. I think
All right.
that might have been my last slide.
Right. Let me ask you a question, Lindsay, because you rolled right into it. Tell us the state you're in, and you started in 2020, you said. Are you licensed by the state, or how do you actually deal with that? Because that's
No.
our students.
So, yeah, no, I'm not licensed. So I'm a health coach. My business is actually in Wisconsin, so that's where we moved from, and that's where I started my LLC. So I just kept it there right now. So I'm just very aware of the laws in both states, and they're very similar. They're title restrictive states. So I just have to be aware of that. And using health coach has been helpful, and just really focusing on that scope of practice, making sure I'm not going outside of that, which really isn't. It seems daunting. I will say it did seem very daunting when I was in school and a little intimidating, but once I'm in practice, I know, I know my lanes to stay in. So it really kind of resolved itself too.
Great. Thank you, Lindsay. And we'll go on. Troy, why don't you go to the next couple of slides and then we'll open it up for more questions if we have more questions, because we're coming to the top of the hour.
Sure. There was one specifically for Lindsay about recommended continuing ed to keep up on gut health.
Oh, there is so much out there. There's a lot of I would just start with researching it. Just type that in and see what comes up. There's so many practitioners that have other courses out there, and there's a lot of options depending on what you want to do. So, and especially the price ranges, there's a lot of options for you. So depending specifically on what you're looking for, but I would just start with a basic Google search and see what draws your attention. Draws you in.
John Hopkins, all of those, Harvard, Mayo Clinic, there are so many opportunities to study and review. And yeah, gut health, microbiome is so important. It makes us who we are, the little creatures that live all over and in our body. We got to be nice to them.
Absolutely.
All over. All right. And the next couple of slides, actually, Troy, you want to deal with these in terms of telling everybody how to get there?
Sure. I put a couple of links in the chat that'll be available to you. If any of this sounds like the direction you want to go and you want to get involved with the degree programs, certificates, diplomas that we've talked about today, you can go about that in a number of ways. You can reach out through a request for information and we'll contact you. You can go ahead and apply. If you do that, it's kind of like putting in a request and we'll get back with you there as well. Or if you'd like to schedule time with one of our advisors and just have a conversation and maybe ask some questions, I put a link there where you can schedule time with one of our admissions advisors. If they don't have the answer, they have access to folks like Janet who can give us the answers we need, or we can even facilitate a meeting with the experts. So, but our whole goal is just to match you with the right program for you and what you're trying to get to, whatever that might look like. This is the team, the admissions team. If you've already put in a request for information or an application, you've probably heard from one of them already. If you haven't, feel free to just pick whoever looks inviting to you or put in that request for information and you'll be matched with someone.
Good. This is wonderful. And we've got some great questions. And here is where we can get some answers for it. All right.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone joining today. If we didn't get to your question, I apologize. We had a lot of great questions to keep up with in the chat. If we haven't answered, feel free to reach out and we'll do our best to get that answered for you.
Yes, thank you. And Beth, you have one question at the very end. I mentioned the doctoral program is new. It's new to ACHS. It came over from the Hawthorne University, where it had been there for 15 years. We have graduates that are of the doctoral program that are very, very successful, and I can give you some more information on that. So at this point in time, I think we're ready to wrap up. It's been wonderful having you here. Thank you all, and contact us. All right, we'll say goodbye.